What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. Phillies keep winning. The Phillies keep winning. That is a series sweep of the San Francisco Giants. They win today by a score of 6-1. Zack Wheeler was dominant, as per usual. Bryce Harper, another 3-run bomb, also adding a Schwarber bomb in there late in the ball game. Always nice to see. And, hey, you just take care of business once again, and you get the series sweep. You get the series sweep. Like I said in yesterday's recap, I wasn't going to be mad if you lost this game, but I would prefer that you would just, go full throttle and get this series sweep. Take care of business and move on. And that's exactly what they did. They swept up the trash. They put it in the trash bin. They get 4 W's on a board in a weird 4-game series from Friday to Monday. Like I said, that will never not be weird, in my honest opinion. I'm used to 4-game series being Monday to Thursday or Thursday to Sunday. Still not used to it being Friday to Monday. That's just me. But, yeah, keep on keeping on. Keep on winning. 14 games above 500. A little more comfortable in first place in the NL East for the time being. And enjoying the ride. Enjoying the ride. That's one of the more pleasant things right now is they're just winning. They're just winning. This is one of the best starts that the Phillies have had in a long time. Probably one of the best starts in franchise history, to be honest with you. I believe the only other best start this team has probably had was back in the 90s, like maybe that 93 team or something like that, if I do remember the stats right. But, they just keep taking care of business. They're winning series. It doesn't matter who they play against, because I know a lot of people around baseball, a lot of the the fans, divisional fans and all that stuff, they would say, oh, when are the Phillies going to play a good team? Oh, when are the Phillies going to play a good team? Oh, blah, 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 all that stuff. And it doesn't matter to me. Is it a recipe for a good team? Is taking care of the teams that you're supposed to beat? And that's exactly what this Phillies team is doing. When we get to the good teams, we get to the good teams. And I'm still very confident in this Phillies team and this Phillies ability to beat good teams. It's just that right now the schedule at this point is benefiting them. Yes, they are playing easier opponents, but I do think it's a sign of a good team that you are taking care of business against bad teams. That's what improves your record. That's another thing that makes the difference, and you winning a division or making the division a tighter race than it has been in previous years. Past couple of seasons, yes, the Phillies have beaten good teams, but, there would be some series where they go up against maybe a mediocre opponent or a bad opponent, and they just, happen to slip that series, and maybe that would be the difference in something like that. But so far, basically, they've been taking care of the business in those series. The last time the Phillies lost a series, and I'm going to keep bringing this up, it's May 6th right now. The last time the Phillies lost a series was the beginning of April, and that was the second series of the season against the Reds, when they lost those 2 first series to start the year, and we were all very frustrated. Basically, ever since then, it's been series win, maybe a 4-game split, a couple of those in there, sweeps, more sweeps, series wins, and all that. They've been getting the job done. That's basically it. They've been getting the job done, and doing a damn fine job of it. They're just winning ball games, man, and this series, it's a little bit of different people every day. It really just is. Where you look at yesterday's ball game, it was Bryce Harper that was the main reason why you won, and I would say probably and Bryson Stott added in there as well. I was going to say the bullpen, but I think it was mostly Bryce Harper and Bryson Stott adding to that fact. And you could also chip in Edmundo Sosa. Today was Bryce Harper and Schwarber again. You can really just write in different people, whether it's going to be Schwarber one game, whether it's going to be Harper one game, whether it's Bohm, and sadly his hitting streak did end today. He was a little bit frustrated about that. Hopefully the hip isn't that much of an issue for him right now. That'll definitely be a blow if he has to miss a little bit of time here, but he's managing to play through it, so it definitely isn't as bad as I'm probably trying to portray it as it is, to where it's something he can play through, or maybe he just needs a day off here and there just to make sure it's fully healed. But, yeah, whether it's Schwarbs, whether it's Bryce, whether it's Bohm, it could be Stott one day, it could be Marsh one day, JT, hell, even Nick Castellanos, if he ever wants to figure it out. He did have a double in this game. He did have a couple of hits in this game, so I'm not going to harp on him too much. It'll probably be another day where I harp on him. But I digress on that point. And then your starting pitching, whether it's Zack Wheeler, whether it's Aaron, Nola, Ranger, Suarez, and, just continuing. It's a lot of those guys. And I can see my stream is a little bit funky. And like I said, during this time of the day, the past couple of days, my internet has been a little bit wonky with the interferences. So we're just going to have to deal with it right now. So hopefully it might pop up a little more times over the course of this stream. But like I said, it's just something we're going to have to deal with at this point. But yeah, it's some fun stuff here. And I just can't wait to watch this Phillies team. I'm excited to watch them every single day. You got 2 games upcoming, tomorrow and Wednesday against the Toronto Blue Jays. It's definitely going to be a tougher 2-game set because there's 2. You're getting Barrios tomorrow, who was the AL pitcher of the month for April, and I believe you're facing Chris Bassett, whose numbers aren't good, but he's always given the Phillies problems in the past. So, but at this point, just keep throwing it at them. The Phillies in the first so many innings against the pitcher against who was it, Black today, that was making his major league debut against the team that he grew up cheering against. He was born in this part of Pennsylvania, and he grew up a Phillies fan, and just your first start of your major league career, you're playing against the team that you're rooted for. That's kind of a cool story right there. And he was giving the Phillies a little bit of problems in the early part of the game, but as the game went along and you got to the 4th and the 5th inning, that's when it started to die down for him a little bit. The Phillies were starting to get used to him. His stuff wasn't as effective, and apparently they were saying during the game that the Giants haven't made this kid go longer than 5 innings in the entirety of his AAA career so far, so maybe that's what implicated it in there, and maybe they kept him in too long, so that's another another situation in there where Bob Melvin kept a pitcher in too long. We all remember that when, against the San Diego Padres, where he didn't bring in Josh Hader against Bryce Harper and all that stuff. He kept those guys in too long, and then, the whole Bryce Harper swing of his life. So a little bit of history repeating itself there. But, yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. It's all that matters at the end of the day. All that matters. Zack was dominant, man. He was dominant. 11 Ks. 7 innings, 1 earned run because of a Bryson Stott error. And Bryson Stott was playing shortstop today. They are going to be doing that probably over the course of Trey Turner not being available for you for the foreseeable future for the next few weeks here. And that was Bryson Stott's first game back at shortstop since Game 6 of the 2022 World Series. So that's, it's been a little bit since he's played shortstop, even though he is a natural shortstop from draft day. But, it's definitely different playing shortstop and second base. It's 2 completely different positions and 2 completely different sides of the field that you're facing. And what a way to bring him back into shortstop by getting a very, very nicely turned double play to end the top of the first inning for Zack Wheeler. So that's one way to welcome you back to your old position. And there was an error in there which led to one of the Giants' lone run today, where the target was off to throwing the first base to Bryce Harper, and Bryce Harper missed the tag. So, eventually that let a run to score. But then Bryson Stott again made a very nice running grab going into foul territory, running from shortstop. So a little bit of a mixed bag, but mostly good there from Bryson Stott. Whit Merrifield played second base today. He also chipped into the offense, and his bat has definitely woken up a little bit lately, which is very good because his bat's probably going to be more prominent in the lineup over the course of Trey Turner being out. So you would like to see Whit Merrifield, cashing in to the offense like he has been the past couple of games. So that is very nice to see. And yeah, Nick Castellanos chipped into the offense, like I said, with the Bryce Harper 3-run bomb back-to-back days there. And bringing up stats from Bryce Harper, I believe Corey Seidman put this up. I believe this was after Bryce Harper's 3-run bomb. So Bryce Harper's last 17 games, he's batting .286, .446 on base. He has been walking a lot. I believe he had a walk streak of like 8 straight games or something like that. Then he had a slugging percentage of .589 over the last 17 games. 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, 17 walks, and 16 strikeouts. So it's, Bryce is starting to wake up, it seems like. Starting to very slowly creep up here, and definitely waking up at a good time, especially with Trey Turner gone. So that definitely is a very huge thing there for Bryce Harper to start waking up, because it does change the entire factor of this Phillies squad. This Phillies team was winning games when Bryce Harper was cold, when it was mainly Alec Bowman, Trey Turner carrying the lineup. Now imagine Bryce Harper waking up. Oh boy, Oh boy. And then eventually Kyle Schwarber starts raking when the weather gets warmer. He had another home run in the 8th inning today. That ball was crushed. It was crushed. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Love it, boys. I love it. And there was a graphic that popped up like right as soon as the final pitch happened. So on a roll. So the graphic is on a roll with a 6-1 win today. This is the first time since May 31st of 2019 that the Phillies have had a 3-game lead in the NL East. That is over 1,802 days since the last time they had a 3-game lead, so that's crazy. The last 4-game sweeps was 2023, September 21st to the 24th against the Mets, and then previous to that was 2018 versus the San Francisco Giants, May 7th to the 10th. So that's interesting there. Jesus. Jesus. So, yeah, this Phillies team has not had 4-game sweeps in a very little bit of while here. Or, let's see. And the Phillies have won 17 of the last 20. Last time with 17 wins over a 20-game span was September 3rd through the 24th of 2010. So, they're winning. They're winning. They're putting up some really good and I believe they have a 10-game home winning streak so far at Citizens Bank Park in their last 10 home games, and I'm assuming that's dating back to the Colorado series. So they're winning their home games, and I believe the most in a row was 12 or something like that. So they're definitely creeping up on that number. They can get that in the series against the Blue Jays upcoming. So that'll be nice to see if they can find a way to catch up to that streak. But yeah, just some good stuff from this Philly squad. They're just doing good stuff all over the board. All over the board. Can't complain. Cannot complain at all. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You just can't complain. And overall, just looking at this game from today, looking at the lineup, Kyle Schwarber was 2 for 4 with an RBI with a solo shot. He also had a walk in there. JT Realmuto has definitely been better in the 2-hole, replacing Trey Turner there. He went 2 for 5. He had a couple of hits over the course of this series as well, so that's nice to see. Bryce Harper, he goes 2 for 4 with a 3-run shot. Alec Boehm, he goes 0 for 4, so sadly his hitting streak does end. Hopefully he can just find a way to get a new one. Brandon Marsh 1 for 4. Nick Castellanos 2 for 2 with 2 walks, so he was on base all 4 times today. So most likely cue in for Nick Castellanos tomorrow against the Blue Jays, 4 strikeouts. That's what just most likely is going to happen. Bryson Stott 0 for 3 with a walk. Whit Merrifield 1 for 4 with an RBI, and then Johan Rojas 0 for 4. Phillies went 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Pitching-wise, Zack Wheeler, dominant as ever, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 unearned run, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts, and 102 pitches there. His ERA drops to 1.64, just continues to get better and better. So I guess Zack Wheeler is no longer allowed to pitch on 6 days rest because he pitches on 6 days rest against the Angels. Only goes 5 innings, still wasn't his best stuff, and on 5 days rest, on normal rest for Zack Wheeler today, he dominates. So I don't think he's going to want to stay on 6 days rest any further going on here. Matt Strahm comes out for the 8th, does his job, strikes out 2 on 17 pitches. I believe he hasn't allowed an earned run in his past 30-something innings, almost 40 innings at this point, so Matt Strahm's been really dealing out of the bullpen. And then Kerkering comes on to close the game out. 14 pitches and gets the job done there. His ERA is at 1.04. Matt Strahm's is at 1.29. Love that stuff. Love it. And if I just bring up the upcoming schedule here, because we can also look back on the other wins from this Philly squad, just to, showcase the amount of winning that they are doing. Like I said, the last time this Phillies team has lost a series was back on April 3rd against the Cincinnati Reds. Those first 2 series of the year, and basically since then it's been a series win against the Washington Nationals, series win against St. Louis, a 4-game split with the Pittsburgh Pirates, then back-to-back sweeps of Colorado and Chicago, the White Sox that is, then a 4-game series split against the Reds, then a series sweep with the Padres, then a series win against the Angels, and so far a series sweep, 4-game series sweep in fact, of the San Francisco Giants. So basically since April 3rd, they've been winning series or either splitting 4-game sets. So they've been on a roll. They've been on the roll. And basically since April 3rd, the Phillies only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losses. That's 7 losses in how many games? That's a lot of games here to count. So I'm going to try to count them. Definitely going to try to count them. So 3, 6, 10, 13, 16, 20, 23, 26, 30. In the past 30 games, they've only lost 7. They've won 27. What am I doing? They've lost in the past 30 games. They've only lost 7. So they've gone 23-7 in their last 30 games. So they're winning. They're winning, and they're doing a lot of it, which is really good and really fun to see. I don't want it to stop. I definitely don't want it to stop. But if we look at the upcoming schedule, 2 games against Toronto. Christopher Sanchez is going to pitch tomorrow, and then Wednesday afternoon will be Aaron Nola. Then it'll be Jose Barrios against Sanchez. Barrios, who has been really good for the Blue Jays this year, and then Chris Bassett on Wednesday against Aaron Nola. Then you have a day off on Thursday, and then you go on a road trip for 5 games. Weekend series with the Miami Marlins. Taijuan Walker, Ranger Suarez, and Zack Wheeler will be pitching that series. First game will be against Trevor Rogers. Second game will be against Sixto Sanchez. And then the third game will be against Roddery Munoz. So it looks like besides Rogers, the Marlins will be throwing 2 bullpen games in there. So we'll see what happens. And then you got 2 road games against the Mets, where Christopher Sanchez and Aaron Nola will pitch. And then 2 home games against the Mets, where Taijuan Walker and Ranger Suarez will pitch. Then you have 3 home games against the Nationals, 3 home games against the Rangers, and then 3 games on the road against the Rockies, 3 games on the road against the San Francisco Giants, and then a 3-game home series basically to close out the month of May against the St. Louis Cardinals, and then more home games, so on and so forth. Then you get to your London series against the Mets, and blah, 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 blah. Then your schedule does start to get a little bit more difficult as the months go along here, but we're not going to get that far into it. We're definitely not. Definitely too long of a schedule to look in that deeply. But you're getting your series wins, and that's the most important thing. That just definitely is. So, yeah, that's the most important thing right there. So, let's, try to see if there's anything else here. Let me look at the standings, just to, see if there's anything going on. So, yep, 25-11 record on the year. You're 3 games up in the NL East over the Atlanta Braves. They are 20-12. I believe, are they playing tonight? I'm not sure, because I know they're just coming off the series against the Dodgers. I'm not sure if they're playing today. It does not look like it, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they are. I don't think they are. So, Braves have an off day. You're 3 games ahead of them. The Nationals, they're 17-17. The Mets, they're 16-18, and the Marlins, they're 10-6. They're 10-26. Rest of the league, Brewers are 20-13. Cubs are 21-14. Dodgers are 23-13. The American League, the Orioles and the Yankees are doing their thing. The Guardians are 22-12. The Seattle Mariners are first place in the West, just shy ahead of the Rangers, and that's basically it. That's basically it. The Oakland Athletics are actually catching up in that American League West. They're only 2.5 games out of first place. The Oakland Athletics have been playing some pretty mean ball. I'm not going to lie here. I'm not going to lie. They're definitely not the worst team in baseball, surprisingly, after being historically bad last season. That's pretty crazy. It definitely is. No one would have expected the Chicago White Sox to be on Oakland A's level of bad this year. Same thing with the Rockies. Jesus Christ, these teams are terrible. Jesus. But, yeah, some great stuff here from your Fightin' Phils. And without further ado, we should get to the Anytime Hotline here. We have a couple of voicemails. We have 2 here, one from Sean and one from an unknown caller. So if you do happen to leave a voicemail or a text message, definitely leave your name so I can save that for future uses. If you happen to call in again or text in again, that'll be very helpful for my case. And also, just, continue calling in and all that stuff. And, chime in on Philly sports and all that stuff. Get your reactions in here. It's a fun time. You can also utilize the YouTube live feed or the comments section. Does not matter to me. I would just like to interact with you guys. So, let's get to the first caller here. Let's get to Sean and see what he has to say about this series sweep from the Phils.
Keep stacking wins. Great job by the Phils. I mean, you can win a division as, early as April, May as you can late. So keep stacking wins. I mean, get a 4-game sweep against anybody. That's impressive. The most impressive part to me over these last 4 games is it's just different guys. I mean, if it's not Schwarber, it's Harper. If it's not Harper, it's Bohm. The one constant continues to be the starting pitching. Zack Wheeler, excellent today. Taijuan Walker, okay the other night. I mean, you get pitching like the Phillies have been getting, it can mask a lot of other deficiencies. I mean, you can win games striking out 15, 16 times if your pitching is holding down the fort. This will be a good short series against Toronto. I mean, I think Christopher Sanchez needs to have a real good start tomorrow because he's been kind of on shaky ground lately. But enjoying the 4-game sweep. Good job by the Phils.
I agree. Yeah, it'd be nice for Christopher Sanchez to have a good start tomorrow. He definitely has been a little bit shaky in his past couple of starts, so that would be nice for him to get over the hump there, to have a nice little start there. Go 6 innings, get a few strikeouts in there. Have a little bit of an easier outing. And that would be very nice out of Christopher Sanchez if he can find a way to figure that out. But yeah, like you said, different guys every single game so far. Bryce, Schwarbs, Bulmer, Turner before he got injured. Factor in JT, factor in Stott and Marsh. Keep on going. Keep on trucking. It's basically it there. We do have another call. I'm not sure if they left anything. Hopefully it's not a troll. I don't think it is. But we'll see. From unknown caller. We're going to risk it. We're going to risk it. So if my video gets shut down, you'll know why. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny, just leaving the Phillies home run bell. I love it. I love it. People are pumped about the Phils. I love it. People are pumped about the Phillies. Cannot blame them. Cannot blame them. Definitely makes you feel a little better after the whole Sixers thing. So, I think they're going to be a good distraction for the city of Philadelphia this summer. Hopefully that'll be the case. But they're being a pretty good distraction right now. Just keep on doing it. Just keep on trucking. That's all you got to do. And yeah, I think that's all we need to talk about for today. As for the upcoming stuff, obviously we'll have Phillies recaps the next 2 days. Also, during tomorrow, the NHL Draft Lottery is going to be around 6:30. So I probably am planning on doing a live reaction just for people that are probably interested in that. I know, Sean, you're probably interested in that. If you want to tune into that tomorrow, I'll definitely have my live reaction, just seeing what happens in the NHL Draft Lottery before the Phillies game, and seeing if the Flyers get lucky or not. I'm not expecting much, but I'll definitely share some thoughts and, share my overall reaction on that as it happens tomorrow. So you could definitely stay tuned for that. I believe the Draft Lottery is at 6:30, so definitely just, 6:30 stream. So definitely stay tuned for that. As for the other stuff, just Phillies recaps for the upcoming days and bearing any other breaking news. And that'll be basically it for there. So that'll do it for today, everybody. Good win for the Phillies. Star Wars. Yep, 14 games over 500. I see you there in the chat. Great stuff. Great stuff. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below, guys. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. Thanks, guys, once again for tuning in.